I began my union journey with the Anaheim Hilton and Towers in 1987. I decided, after seeing many inequities and inequalities within the hotel, I decided to be the voice for every housekeeper, bellman, dishwasher who didn't feel they had a voice.
Like some of you, I come from a male-dominated industry. There's only 44 women in our office compared to 500 men. I decided to get involved in the union because I thought we needed more female representation. I was sitting in a meeting one time, and the intimidation factor when there's no other women there was very huge. So I thought, you know what, it's time to get involved.
Got involved via the women's issues because I was new to the union. I didn't know anything about labor issues, but I did know a little bit about social justice issues. So I thought it would be a great idea to go speak to my rep and say, listen, I'm interested in knowing more what happens in the union with your social justice issues. And she said, great, we'll send you to a women's conference in Toronto. In Canada, it's the Grey Cup. We had the Grey Cup going on with the women's conference all in the same hotel. So we had
I wanted to help out, so I did. I helped get union cards signed and got a little bit of less fear and decided to be a shop steward. Unfortunately, I was in a very terrible relationship and I had to leave. I phoned my employer, I told them this, they were very good, no problem. Talk to your coordinator, and I did that. My coordinator told me that she did not have time to reschedule me anymore. I come back to work or I quit. And I called my shop steward and I told him what happened, and he told me to call the boss and told me what to say. And I did that. It was very hard. And after 4 hours, the coordinator was demoted. It was not until I realized that they give us much more than a wage. They give us much more than benefits. They give us protection that I never realized the union did. And as I grew stronger, I just kept moving along, and I'm very proud to be in my local and in my component, and hope that I can help my union and other unions and other women succeed.
When I first started my union career, not where I work now, but at a previous union, I think my aha moment came later than it probably should have. So when I went to work for a union, I assumed that workers' rights were their first priority. And so I think that it took a lot for me to finally get that I needed to become involved in my union. When we were at a meeting about our workload, it was the first time that for me, that I recognized that even though the union was in the business of protecting workers, they weren't necessarily about protecting their workers. And that if they couldn't see that, that was why I needed to become active.
Several years back, I was an adjunct professor at 2 community colleges and a Cal State campus. And on one of my community college campuses, they were organizing a union, but I didn't get involved. I knew they were doing it. I didn't want to get involved, so I didn't. But then I heard that when they were asking for office hours for the students, so that we adjunct professors could have a place to meet with our students, the management had said, oh, just meet in the women's restroom. And that gave me fire in the belly. I got really mad. Our final thing that we did in order to get the vote to have a union was that graduation was coming, and we stood along the road all the way up to the administration building with signs that said, let's commence, let's commence, let's commence, or else. And management felt like we were threatening them, that we were going to appear at graduation and spoil their commencement exercises, and so they caved.
My aha moment came as a member. I'm 10 years with the union. I attended a chapter meeting and I watched my treasurer stumble through the treasurer's report. I come from an accounting/budget background, and so I thought to myself, how can I get more involved to help her with reporting? Because I knew that something was wrong there. After spending some time with her and taking that information back to my coworkers, I found that a lot of our union brothers and sisters were not aware of what our union was about. Were not informed about our contract. So I became involved to educate those around me of what rights, benefits, and power that they have as union members and where their dues dollars go.
The reason I got involved was because I was invited to attend a 3-day academy at the UCLA Loach program. There I basically learned what I never knew. Me as a young worker, I started working as a teenager when I was 13 years old. and I never knew I had rights in the job, and I was always being exploited. Now, going back to my community, it was just a shock seeing that a lot of my peers also had the same problem. So I decided getting involved in this movement because we all as the youth have the power, and also just bringing us together could have an impact to all the communities as well, to bring our rights to the workplace.
As a young apprentice, I was frequently stopped by union members and asked if I was active in my local union. And this sounded so much like, have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? So I'd say, yes, but I wasn't. What I really was thinking was, okay, you take your union dues and give me my living wage and we'll both be okay. So my aha moment came when I was working with a journeyman who was a good old boy, and he closed my finger in the door. Never apologized and sent me to urgent care. Okay, I said that was an accident, that's okay. But then there came a point when he asked me to help someone in another trade to do their job, and I said, well, we don't do that, we don't cross trades. He said, you are with me and you'll do what I tell you to do. I can tell you to do anything and you better do it. That didn't sound right. Aha moment said, I have rights, but I don't know what they are. So I said, but I better find out because I know this is not right.
Down in Southern California, my aha moment came when a coworker of mine was laying in her hospital bed, dying, and her nurse manager walked up and gave her pink slip so that management would not have to pay her death benefits. We did not have a union, but that was my call to action. And so we got out there and we organized, and now we have a union.
My all labor movement moment was when Kennedy Lee, who's the director for the Dolores Huerta Labor Institute, came and spoke at my student government meeting. She spoke about her father and the difficulties he was facing in his workplace, and that was only 2 months after I lost my father at the age of 47. So to me, I took it as a sign that, you know, maybe this is something I need to be in and be involved in. I have organized different events and I have worked with her, and she's a dear friend.
My first aha moment was as a member of the Canadian Brotherhood of Railway Transport and General Workers, who organized all of the jobs on the railway except for the trades and the running trades. I was working the equivalent of a switchman's job for 2/3 the pay, and decided that I wanted to take a transfer to become a railway conductor, but was blocked because unfortunately I met the weight requirement but did not meet the height requirement. So 17 of we women from Montreal to Winnipeg filed complaints against Canadian National Railway and won the first quota-based affirmative action program in Canada. And that was my entry to the support of my union for the transfer and the support of the people that I worked with.
My aha moment was that I really wanted to educate myself and know what's going on in my union per se, and what are the issues, and just to be able to help people with their rights.
One of my aha moments in my life as an activist was when I was on a bargaining committee, and I had an issue around childcare and around human resources. And being able to push for that with my own caucus in the bargaining committee, and seeing collective agreement language that addressed those issues, that I knew that I was able to lobby people and get that language in there that's still in there today. And I'm able to show my own children that there's the language about childcare, about yourself when you were young.
So I became a community organizer on affordable housing to change the things, to be a change maker in my community. I also got involved in the union when I was 19. I was a union member. We had an anti-union manager, which was mentally, psychologically intimidating my coworkers. And I really didn't feel that was right. I was 19 and I really didn't care what he thought. So I was gonna do what I was gonna do, which was organize our folks in our hotel. So that really got me to see just the bigger picture of how, if we get involved, if we educate ourselves on the things that are going out there, we have the power as employees. We have the power to empower ourselves, but also our community. And I'm definitely here because if there's no justice, they will not have peace. Thank you.